had something today?
Yeah, it was a question and answer thing. So.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. I waited and then I got my FedEx came to the door.
Yeah, well,
I forgot to turn it on.
Well, of course you're like, woohoo!
Exactly. It was like, yay, it's Christmas. Then I forgot
Absolutely.
I didn't check my email afterwards, so I thought it would come tonight because that's what FedEx said, but they came early. So yeah.
Good evening, Jason, Patrick. How are you both? I forgot. Now I remember what I forgot to do. See if I can do it now. I forgot to change the giveaway setting. I'm gonna try and do that while everything else is going. That may be difficult, but here, complete that. Let's see if I can do it. So far, so good. Awesome. That's great to hear, Jason. Very cool.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. I'll get even more to catch up on.
That was just one twice. Alright, I got it switched. Not too much of trouble.
Yeah.
Good thing. Yeah, Tim's disturbing there, Jason. You should know that by now. Yes. You'll get it. Bing. Hopefully everyone's well tonight. Is waiting for Mike, and we're a little early, but just want to make sure Blue Box opens up a raid that we're on. So I think, yeah. Oh yeah, we are. Yes, we are. Yeah, it's every it's every Wednesday night. Usually, I mean, this is 99% of the time. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. 7:30 Thursday night is the RPG game, and then Gavin is right now it's at 7, not 7:30 Eastern on Sundays. Hey, Godfather Rick, good to see you. There's Gary.
Yeah.
Coming in. You know, so those are the nights. So tonight is like the start of the week for us. Yeah, hour 15 minutes. So he should be finishing up soon. So I talked to Chuck today. Finally, it's been a while.
Oh, good. How's he doing?
He's doing okay. He's still moving. So, but
yeah.
he's gonna give me final word by tomorrow night whether he's playing in the Grand Melee or not. So we'll know for sure with him then. So
Yeah, they were buying a new house and all that mess with.
oh yeah,
with
absolutely.
stuff,
He's
yeah.
buying a new house and he's got a lot of stuff going on. So it's coming, you know. Good for him. Still looking up for Mike. Let me know, Aaron, if he hops in the Discord group with a message. I have it down right now. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I have it up.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Everything sounds okay? Hey, Mike. What's up, Mike Disney? Mike, I need to talk to you about Sunday night stream, too. So, haven't gotten to you yet. I'm sorry. Just been real work's been kicking my ass this week. So, hey, I'm very good to see you. Thanks, Flu. Good. Yeah, anyone with a highlight stream will be waiting on the Gavin for Sunday to talk about their stream. So, DMs and so just note if you can make the first half of the show or the second half. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
How's everyone? We're doing. It's good. Doing well. So we're getting so close to that. This being Bill's supposed to bring that tomorrow night. Complete our arena. If you want to, Mike, yeah, I have every DM and every host that's streaming. So, well, Jason, you're gonna see even a better version than that that Bill has done. I don't know. He gave me more pics. I think I showed some of them on. Sunday night stream. Let me see here. He gave me more. I just have been so swamped. I don't think I transferred them from my phone over because we're gonna have the real thing shortly. That's impartial. I'm just looking here to see. Hey, Taryn. Good to see you. This is gonna be a great one tonight. That's a good one there. There's a bike in the background. Let me hit this button, hit this button, hit that button. It's great. I'm talking to myself tonight. A lot. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Let me see if I can email this one pic to myself. I'm not going to be able to edit it, but that's okay. And that one, how about this view? No, that view. That's a good side view. All right, I got two of them. So let's see if I can pull these off of my email now. He texted them to me, so I gotta. Sure, Taryn, anytime. Flu, thank you very much for the sub. Thank you, really appreciate it. All right, let's see if I don't crash things here. La 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 la. When you have 30 screens up when you're streaming, please note, you shouldn't do that. But, I'm not that bright. So, let's see, as picture. Just call this arena. This is 5. That'll be arena 6. Boy, I'm really rolling the dice now by doing this. I'm editing this one picture with a simple edit program. There we go. Save. All right, it worked. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. Let's hit that. Look at that. And it's 7:52, so we're like on pace right here to start a couple minutes early. Yeah. So it's cool. Hoping my shout-outs are updated, at least the ones that pertain coming up, so I'm going to check. Alright, well, yeah, it doesn't have all the guests now, but yeah, okay. That one's good. That one's good. Alright. Hey, mine more. Done now. Fourth, what's up? So, to both of you, Anna and Mike, I sent Luke a letter saying that we could run a fantasy mapping show episode and a Legends and Lore episode while we're at GaryCon, because all three of us will be there. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Or a Greyhawk episode, whatever, at GaryCon, right?
Yeah.
Like we did. Or just have a Greyhawk presentation at GaryCon and see what he says. We have that capability. All of us would be there.
That would be a lot of fun.
See what he says. yell at like Josh Pop, so Zarathon. Why yell at him? He's such a great guy. Tonight's going to be a cool show. I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we're at Wonders of Greyhawk. Oh, look. But is that a wonder you have an upper left-hand corner? Well, it was.
Has that one been there all the time? Have I missed that one? Or have you switched it out recently?
Oh, I always switch. I switch pictures every week.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, that's a wonder.
I can't remember
Greyhawk,
seeing the new Brian around there before, so yeah.
Gary. Well, Gary, if I say that, then, you know, we try and keep it coming here, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Now I forget what I was doing.
You have to make sure you press all the right buttons all the way up until the show starts.
Yeah, real life work has been getting in the way of my gaming prep lately. I apologize. So I'm doing my best here, and also prepping ahead for. Hey Keith, what's going on? Prepping ahead for Gary Con, Greyhawk Con. Listen to me. So I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be awesome. You know, so Gary, you got a rookie coach, you got almost a rookie quarterback, and all the young players, and they made mistakes. You can't make mistakes against a veteran team, so it's going to happen a lot this year. It's better than being 0-2 like the Indianapolis Colts.
Am I on the right stream?
And the good thing is they got our crappy quarterback now, who's injured all the time.
Uh-oh.
So, for 1 more minute, we'll come on here. So
Nobody's surprised.
yes. So yeah, it's gonna be a good team. Give it some time. It's funny though, in all the chat we have in places. I live outside Philly, Flew. I live 6 miles out in South Jersey, right outside Philadelphia. So.
My prediction.
It's possible. So I talk hockey with Carlos Lacing, and I took football with Gary. It's kind of interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yes, I am. Don't hold it against me. But I finally got 54, and I finally got my Super Bowl in 2018, which I never thought I'd ever see in my life.
Tell me about
And it was the last time Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl. So I lost 3 out of 10.
Yep.
Yep. All right, here we come, coming live. I respect the Bruins a lot.
That's some Bruins.
Well, if you live up in the New England area, that's what you have, right?
I'm glad the Blues exercised the Bruins.
Yeah, I mean the Blues. Yeah, I haven't seen a Stanley Cup since I was 7 years old. So, 7 years old is a long time. Good evening, everyone. I'm JK Lord Gazamba. Welcome tonight for a wonderful and exciting Legends and Lore, Wonders of Greyhawk. And with me this evening, I have Anna Meyer and Greyhawk Mike
Hello.
Bridges. And so this is one of those topics where we got help from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do? And so we got this, and we got some artifact discussion maybe. But I was trying to get someone as a guest next week, Gary, and I forget who that was. and you said you were going to talk to them. Was that Nellisir? I can't remember who it was. We were going to try and get someone on
No,
as a guest to discuss something, and my brain is so fried I don't even remember who it was. So if you can remind me who we were.
Nathan Irving.
Nate, it could have been. It could have been, and that's Nellisir, right?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Oblivion Seeker less. That's it for the Flan discussion.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
forgot to even ask him. I'll ask him tonight if I see him on Flan. That's it. Thanks. My gosh, I am getting freaking old, man. Absolutely. So, Wonders of Greyhawk. Now, we may be talking about locations mostly tonight, but you know, there's going to be some other discussion in this. And thank you very much for that follow right off the bat. Really appreciate it. So I'm excited about this discussion because I know we did a Wondrous Locations or something like that well over a year ago.
Doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't, does it? But the thing is we almost limited it right to one book, you know. So
Yeah, and I tried to come up with alternative stuff that can
So
be
did I.
interesting. So yep,
yeah, same here. So did I. I tried to come up with some alternative stuff
try
as
to be
well.
creative. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, others have to judge if I'm succeeded or not. But
so what I
yeah.
did was I got a map set up. I got mostly From the Ashes and the Greyhawk Adventures and PDF set ready to go because a lot of them are in there. But I imagine there's some all over the place. People started to bring up things that should be winners but are not in the traditional list. Well, Anna says she's got a lot of them, Gary. So
I have several that are things that I would find very interesting to introduce in the game for various reasons that are not normally mentioned as fantastic wonders, so to speak, but could be seen as wonders and could be used as wonders in your campaign.
right.
That's my kind of take on this. So
And there's a lot of locations that are like iffy on wonders.
Yep.
But like that we can utilize. Do I sound very Jersey-ish tonight, Patrick?
No.
That's weird. I wonder what that is all about. Yeah. Oh, so no one's asked. What's this behind me? Right, this paper bag.
I was just going to say you put like a cloth over the shield or something. I don't know. Yeah.
No, the shield's not square, Anna. So yes, the stone. There you go. I didn't. So I still don't know where the stone face is, Jason. All right. So Mike, Anna, where's the stone face? What is the stone face? See, I don't know everything there, Flew, either.
The stone face?
Yeah.
Do you mean the great green face?
The great green face. Is that it, Jason? See, I don't know.
That's interesting. They come with that bewexed us all.
Nope, he says no.
know what it is. Hang on a second.
No,
Where the
idea.
demigods from prison between Castle Greyhawk. I know Zuokin was. I know a lot of those demigod ones that are direct expeditions ruins of Greyhawk. The stone face in Castle
the
Greyhawk.
stone face in Castle Greyhawk is probably.
I don't have. You know what? Of all the books I brought up, I don't have my expeditions, it's probably in there. No. Hey, Hops, good to see you. All right, so you want to see what this is first?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Well, I'm waiting for Blue Box to raid in,
you...
maybe. Shall I do an opening?
Yes, an unmasking. Okay. Is that what I think it is? The original? The one and only?
So I have a first, right? And you've seen it. You've seen it. I think this is a little bit nicer.
That's what I was guessing. Oh yes. Yep, that's what I thought.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
The original.
It's the original.
Artwork for Return to the Moat House it's on the t-shirts, fully framed and protected forever. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Awesome.
By Carson Druitt. So there we go. So yes, my first ever truly commissioned piece I've ever had and done. And you know, like I said, it's still available on. It's still available on the shirts. Whoops! I'm gonna one sec.
Okay.
I'm jealous. The only Greyhawk D&D related art I have on my wall is my South Seas map.
Okay.
As long as I don't knock it over and destroy it here. All right. So I do have a new color because I can't get grays anymore. There's still some grays available, but I got navy. I got Return to the Moat House now in navy. Very limited, like only six of these. They're on the TTE site, so I do have the navy color now for this, as well as black and a very limited grays are left for that. Just if you want one, just let me know. They're on the site. If you're outside the continental U.S., you got to tell me because we got to work out the shipping costs. Shipping is built into the price on the TTE site to get them out to you. So, yep. So there you go. Isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, Mike, it is nice, isn't it? He did a wonderful, wonderful job. That's all hand drawn, and that's why it took a while, and that's why it was not inexpensive. But you pay for what you get. And Carson George did a wonderful, wonderful drawing, and Stella Luna really helped in that. And Stella is probably going to be on Sunday night's show as well to talk about her stream. So just wanted to put that out there that we got that for now. Till the end of time, our first con artwork that was ever done, and I was very excited about it, and I got it nicely framed up and matted. So, all right, what the hell's the stone face? I don't remember it beneath Castle Greyhawk.
When someone said it, I thought about the one from the.
Jason, will you get on here, man? Just hop on. Jason, just hop on if you can. Your thing's working tonight. Just hop on. All right.
When I said the stone face, yeah, I was thinking about the infamous stone face from Tomb of Horrors. That's what I thought about when you.
Well, yeah, with the open mouth. I mean, that is iconic.
Exactly. That's what I thought about. Yeah. But when he said Castle of Greyhawk, then I'm lost.
So he's probably talking about Fraz Blue.
Oh, okay. Is he still?
Is my guess.
Well, Von Moku Michael says it's in the OD&D supplement, so it's in there.
There we go.
So, we can talk about that, Ben. If you're in Thailand and I got to ship it there, we can talk about what the cost is. I can work it out with the United States Postal Service. Just get with me in Discord, and we can talk about it and work it out. I'll make it fair, and not just pass along the cost to you for that. The face from the Tomb of Horrors. I didn't think it was that. So
that was
the
my
first
fault.
add-on book. Gygax wrote with Kuntz. Well, Mike, I don't have it here. So there you go. Jason, if Jason doesn't hop on here, then we just won't know on that one. Maybe we can. Let me see here. We'll see if he hops on. So, all right. I feel stupid now. The first one that someone put out in the audience, at least two people know. Put down, Michael, if you want to, what it actually does or is, because green devil face. Oh, it is. It is. Okay, it is the Tomb of Horrors face. Okay. Well, we know it's a tomb. We know it's a sphere of annihilation inside, right? It's the ultimate trash receptor. So, that's fine, Ben. That's fine, but don't order it online. So go and look for the sizes you want, and then Discord me or whisper me here with if I don't have your address, with the address you want it sent to, and I'll get it all worked out, and then we'll work it out via PayPal or something. So okay, that way it's worked out. Or you can order it on there, and then we'll figure it out and whisper it on the proper address. I won't send it until I hear from you. All right, so that was an answer. No, that was an answer to Anna. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So thank you. So
all right. Well, until we're gonna move on then. Let me talk about one I want to talk about right off the bat, and that is I'll get this one out of the way. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you so very much. Plus, Laser, I think resubbed there too. Good to see you, Laser. You are awesome. How long's that been for you? 21 months, almost 2 freaking full years. That is fantastic. Very, very cool. All right, I'm doing this. I'm switching screens. It's this one, I think.
Yeah, I think it's better almost to stay in that screen.
Nope, that was the wrong one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I am having trouble tonight. There we go. Oh my gosh, went to the wrong one. Jeez, Jay. Oh my God. Greyhawk Castle DRG 288. Okay. Hold on. We're gonna go like this. And then we're gonna go like this. Okay. Let's get this one out of the way right off the bat. So everyone knows my beef with this, and this is a wonderful, wonderful discussion that just went bad right off the bat. and now I can't find it. And that is, of course, we're talking about the legendary. I'm just throwing it up here. The legendary Doom Grinder. All right, so
Okay.
Well,
Yeah. Mhm.
there's Blue Box. Woohoo!
rude.
Hello.
Welcome, John. Hope you had a great discussion. It sounded like it was an awesome discussion, a general DM Q&A, which is always a wonderful thing. Welcome. Good to see you. If I do, yeah, I can't do that. So, thank you. So we already got a hype train going. Yeah, this windmill artifact. This is the Doom Grinder. So if you go into the From the Ashes box set, it's in there, and you're like, wow, this is a great story. This is a great discussion. And Bobby Canadian, thank you for all those gift subs to get the hype train going. And it says that it only moves when it signifies doom, and it clicked a little bit. Someone saw it clicking and moving a little bit. No one knows what this thing is, how long it is, how old it is, and you're like, this is wonderful. This is a great story. And then the second module in the series of the Star Cannons, Lizard Demand, the third one, the Doom Grinder, comes out. And it's the worst adventure, one of the worst adventures. I've always made fun of it. And Gary and I were talking, a lot of us were talking in chat. We need to create new legends for this thing and undo that bad episode. So, hey, thanks, Armin. Did you get my Discord message? Let me know about Sunday night as well if you want to hop on for a few minutes. Yeah, exactly, Gary. Doom Grinder Reimagined. So that's why I wanted to start here. We got a large people raid in. This is a great story gone wrong. It was so intriguing. Mike, what did you think about it when it first came out? Not the adventure, in the From the Ashes.
Doom Grinder?
Yeah.
Well, when it first came out, it reminded me of the Doomsday Clock.
Exactly. Great point. Remind you of the Doomsday Clock in real life. Absolutely. So, yeah. I wouldn't tie it to Vector, Mr. Joe. It's because that's been done enough. I think you want to tie it to some other cataclysm or some other event, and maybe you want to stop it from happening. I think that would be a great way to go. Anna, what do you think?
I'm kind of now. I'm very, very kind of anti all these things that will end the world in one big bang if you don't stop it. Kind of adventures that they're kind of difficult and also, why can't you stop it? Meaning, if you have magic to call in meteors that can crush almost anything, or something like that, then the good gods will go together and they will blow that thing into kingdom come, so to speak, or move the whole damn mountain into another plane or something. Yeah. So it's both fantasy, but it seems like it's constructed for game mechanics only, or for the story only, and it doesn't make sense really in a way.
So what happens, for all of you who do not know, the Doom Grinder is here. See, it's right here. This is the module.
Yeah, but I was thinking, if someone has the capacity to end the world and he wants to, why do all these hoops and whatever? He would just pull the damn trigger and get done with, so to speak. He wants to do it. So
here's Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens in the terrible adventure is it's the Cigar of Doom. Here comes Jason! Yay! We'll figure out what this is.
Yeah, so you got him in.
The Cigar of Doom by the Darrow, I think whichever one starts, and it's got a propeller on it spinning up top because it's like an engine. It's terrible, and it starts running, and it runs in a straight line. It's going to rip right through the middle of Greyhawk City, and you have to stop it. It reminds me of Mad Max meets frickin' Mad Max meets Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or something. It was that bad. All right, so just note that.
But yeah. I think, I'm going to defend it now a little bit. I'm totally against it myself. Now I'm going to defend it a little bit. It depends on the style of game you want to run. So if you want to run games that are more kind of plot centered and you want kind of traps and you want the ultimate trap, why not a trap that if you don't manage to disable it, then the whole thing goes to kingdom come, so to speak. So I can, if that's the kind of game you run, then I guess it fits in rather well, so to speak. But that's not my type of game, so to speak. I want to have a world that makes sense from its own perspective, full of dragons and magic and whatnot, but still kind of makes sense.
So, you know what? See, my brain is off. Hey, Jason, go ahead, you can hop in. I forgot to set the giveaway up.
Yep.
So tonight is a great giveaway. Let's do it. $25 gift certificate to CSL Entertainment. So you can get a lot of great modules with that. So let me set that up here. It's all set. I just got to click a button here. Giveaways. Because Casey normally comes on and clicks the right button, clicks the drawing button, and reminds me, and then disappears. So I get to bust Casey's stones there. There we go. Look, Josh, you guys jumped the gun too early. Both Big Mac and Josh did. Yeah. So you can get all sorts of wonderful adventures if you want. You can get which the brand new The Nine. Or even better, Horror in the Hole still, My Joint Adventure with Carlos on his site. That almost pays for the entire hard copy of it and shipping. So there you go. Yes, very, very cool. All right, Jason, tell us what this head is and what it does.
It's back when they came out with the little black books. They came out with the Greyhawk Supplement, and they had a little picture of the Great Stone Face. And they never explained what it was until
Right.
Gary wrote an Up on the Soapbox in Dragon 288, and he related the story. You're in Castle Greyhawk's, Gygax's Castle Greyhawk's, which is bizarre. I mean, he had his portal to the Alice in Wonderland realm, and his Castle Greyhawk was the kitchen sink. So in his story, this party is going through it, and they come to this chamber, and they open it up, and sitting in the middle is this carved face, the Great Stone Face. And they begin trying to figure out what it is. And this one character makes a bargain with it secretly, and Gygax uses it as a way to show him he's supposed to be lawful good. And Gygax uses the Great Stone Face to disappoint him in this deal he made, because he violated really his alignment. And it became a really well-known room and a story among Gygax's people back in the 70s. And it really, nobody knows except Gygax what the mystery of the Great Stone Face is. And as far as I know, there's no particularly Greyhawk reference to it except where Gygax himself is talking about it up on the Soapbox, page 24, Dragon 288.
I don't remember it in Expeditions to the Ruins of Greyhawk, but I can't believe that Eric Mona and James Jacobs and Jason Bowman wouldn't put it in there somewhere. I don't,
because it's not in Greyhawk Ruins. It's not in Greyhawk Ruins.
it's not in Greyhawk Ruins. Where is it? Where is it?
It's in the castle.
Yeah, it's in.
It's Gygax's, but it's Gygax's version. So.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
And he had a wacky little version, I'll tell you. He had the super happy fun slide that took your characters down. He just, he did the kitchen sink with his, and it was a legend among people who played with Gygax, not necessarily us, but his actual players.
Okay.
And
So
WG7 is supposed to be out of character?
I'm sorry, what was?
Say again, Mike.
I said, and WG7, Castle Greyhawk, is supposed to be out of character.
Well, Castle WG7's just mean. That's the thing. Yeah. But it like when you read some of the things, it really is wacky. His home campaign was nothing like what he wrote about or what came out published. I mean, those guys were in London. They were, the map was Wisconsin, so, when they did outdoor survivalist quests, Gygax was playing in Wisconsin. So,
I would have never known that about that, Jason. I thank you for bringing it up here.
Yeah.
And you can round table.
Yeah, it's
good.
Oh, it's a great mystery of Greyhawk, but it isn't in a way. It's a great Gygax mystery. Okay,
so it's like the Egg of Coot almost was for for the guys in Blackmore, kind of. It had something behind it. Everyone figured out what it was. With the Stone Face, they just don't know.
Yeah, and they don't know what the Egakut is. People are
Okay.
making it up, but I don't think Gygax ever told anybody.
Okay. Well, cool, man. So that would be in here. That would be in here. Castle Greyhawk, right here.
Yep.
It's inside here, right in there, and that's where the ruins are. So, but the ruins of Greyhawk and Castle Greyhawk are two different things, kind of. So it's kind of hard to. Hey, Clever, good to see you. All right, so Mike, what do you got? Got something for us?
Well, so when you put Wonders of Greyhawk, I immediately was thinking Wonders locations.
Yeah.
And maybe not just wonders in general, like a face on a wall in a dungeon. Because thinking of Castle Greyhawk thing got me thinking about there's a lot of wonders just in one location right there. Like you got the Black Obelisk in Greyhawk Ruins.
Yeah, I should have had expeditions here. Unfreaking believable. So the Black Obelisk is down at the last, one of the lowest levels, if I recall.
Right, and that thing then immediately reminds me of like 2001, Space Odyssey or something.
Yeah.
It's inexplicable Black Obelisk, and then Zaggy is like using his powers to ship it off, and then use a piece of that in the process of him capturing demigods to then make him ascend. So it's like this obelisk is a big deal.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, absolutely. And isn't that where his power all supposed to come from?
I'm not really sure. I think
Zaggy. He found that and then built around it.
That's why he built
Yeah.
over. I'm sure, yes. But in the lore of Greyhawk Ruins, it gets even weirder, because then the authors said that the obelisk is really there to mask an even greater object, and
right.
So it's like, you could just take this, to some cosmic level storyline if you wanted.
So, if you haven't, and I shout this out every time because I was so pleasantly surprised with this, and let me throw this up here real quick because I don't have it in the listings here. I do I have it on reference book covers or no? I probably have it under adventures. My gosh, I have so many subfolders now. I'm going to go insane. Expeditions is great, and it ties in a lot of these stories, and the obelisk is definitely one of them that's in that story arc, and I don't know where it is in my thing, so I guess got to do a type up here. And it was by our friends there, the Wonders of, here we go. All right, see if I can just throw it up here like that. Did that work? No, it didn't. You got to be kidding me. All right, there we go. There we go. Expeditions of Ruins of Greyhawk. So like the last publication that came out that was official, and that was 2008 or 7 or something like that. So, but it's great, and it has some great storylines in there. Rigby's death and the Iusian army. I know that's a big argument is how they get under the water of the near deep and all that stuff. But
that's the kind of
Yeah, but
I don't think it's wrong. It's just described wrong, and they needed to make more of a story of it. They were just lazy when they put that bit there.
You get to find out about the God Trap. You get to find out a lot of things in this, and you also get to deal with Igwolf and Vane, and really well done. And the Cult of Ius within Greyhawk City, which I've elaborated on multiple times in multiple ventures afterwards. So it's some good tie-ins there. So great one, Mike, with the obelisk, definitely. So look, we haven't even left Greyhawk yet with all
now,
this.
If I maybe tie it back into what Jason was talking about, in the Greyhawk Ruins and after lore, there's a story about how Zagig trapped the demon prince Frazor Blue. And he was trapped as a bas-relief on a wall. I don't know if it's a face or a whole body or whatever, but that was the trial run for him capturing demigods, I believe. And from that information, then they say Igwolf then stole that book and ran off, and she captured, Grazit from that.
Oh, okay.
Those notes. and then some hapless adventurers come along and accidentally let Fraz out. So if anyone did something with the Great Stone Face, I think that might be it.
Yeah, have him as the Demon Prince.
It's interesting. I mean, was he just busting on someone in his game by putting a picture of his face in? I mean, it's that simple.
Maybe.
That's something dumb I'd do.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like something Gygax would do.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
you have to realize it's not part of the official Greyhawk. It's his own home game, so you have all
Yeah.
sorts of silliness and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Absolutely. So, something I
like
would
we
do.
all do in our home games, we put in weird things and stuff.
I mean, I
like
put
that,
in
so.
items.
There's a
Based.
similar one in Mar Castle
Okay.
that I can bring up if you want right now. Or
Sure, let's do it. We're not far.
So there's a location in one of the levels. I can't remember. It must be one of the lower levels, but it's one of these rooms that you can only find if you're like really searching hard. You know, like for secret doors, and it's the. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a big purple stone.
Oh my God, I forget where Mar Castle is again.
That's
east, northeast,
yeah,
east.
that's what I thought.
There you go. Zoom in.
So this great big.
There it is, right on the edge. There it is.
Boulder
I couldn't remember if it was Aber or
is
Cairn Hills.
sentient somehow, and it has. I think it even has a cult following or something, and it's one of these enigmatic. You know, things that doesn't move, doesn't really do anything unless you interact with it, and it's just hidden away, until you stumble upon it.
So it's a purple living sentient.
It does stuff. I
Okay.
can't remember what it does, but it like will communicate with people somehow. It's just one of them weird little wondrous things you stumble upon that has nothing to do with the rest of the story.
So I'm going to ask in chat, Gary, is that in the Mar Castle within the Dungeon Magazine article?
Oh, I'm positive it's in the Dungeon Magazine because there's a picture of it.
What is that huge contraption that rolls along the coastline between Ernst and Greyhawk?
I think they're talking about Doom Grinder.
Patrick, that's funny. We were just talking. It's a Doom. We already talked about the Doom Grinder. Yes, it's the Doom Grinder. All right, so Gary says it's in the Mar Castle reference there in dungeon. What number dungeon is that, Gary? If you can reference it, or someone
112.
can 112. Dungeon 112 is where to go for some Mar Castle goodness. Hey, Began, what's up? Hopefully your stuff shows up.
Not new content. It's in Morgan Keenan's Fantastic
Adventure too. Yeah.
Thank you. Rob Kuntz. It's probably Rob Kuntz's version of the weird stone oracle-like thing.
Are they related? No one knows, right? Okay. But maybe it was an homage to it. That's the thing. We tend
the purple stone.
Yes. So for example, Tim does Wizard of Id. I did Wizard Stidge in honor of Tim's adventure. So maybe he was doing something similar to the obelisk. Yeah, from the time frame. Very interesting. Good ones, Mike. Really good.
Right, that's all I got.
Interesting wonders. Very, very interesting. So, Anna, what do you think? What do you got?
The first one, I've going for things that are not really described, but they're hinted at, and they are kind of ought to be there. And my first one that I want to is one that could be really interesting adventure location in kind of an unusual way, and that's the Library of Relmored.
Okay.
Because I think that Relmored is probably one of the cities that has the best and oldest library. Maybe Devon can match it in Nyrond East. East. There
there it is. I was right there.
Yeah. And I'm going to make a little bit of an argument why I think Relmored and Devon have both of them have some of the best libraries on the planet. That they are really old cities. They have been old metropolises for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they also been wealthy and part of the Great Kingdom. And they also kept that tradition high, so to speak. Other cities like Rossi's and others have been in modern times ransacked and been taken over by extremists with all sorts of weird that I guess have a tendency of burning books and hiding them and what to get rid of them and stuff like that. Yeah, like extremists do. But I think both Relmored and Devon have been been run by reasonable, sensible rulers for hundreds of years and been wealthy enough to hold on to their treasures. Hasn't been ransacked that frequent or that thorough, so to speak. So most of the treasures have been able to be there intact in the libraries. So that's why, and also the Relmored is even more, since it's been fully independent for hundreds of years. Probably it might have even more of a library intact than Reldevon, but it might be that Reldevon might have some older relics in there, and Relmored might had more of a recent. I don't know, but these two cities, but especially Relmored, I want to kind of, if you want to have an interesting location where you want people to go and research old stuff and manuscripts and find old stuff, I think the Relmored and then Reldevon is probably good site. Rel Astra is probably another one that you can go and find interesting old libraries and books and stuff from cities we're learning. Yeah,
I'm going to do something blasphemous. I mean, I think we talked about this, but the Candlekeep library in the book, can you do it for Relmored to get some adventures out of it and some conversions over?
Yeah, you might want to change the surrounding locations and just keep the library, so to speak. So yeah, but I think that's the right theme of meaning you need to do something extraordinary cool with the location. It needs to be have special weird librarians that do things and hidden compartments and secret sub libraries and stuff like that that are only accessible by special appointment, and also it should be an adventure just to get access to the library. That should be half a campaign, just to find the right person, to bribe them the right way, or ask the king for access, and blah blah blah, etc etc etc. It should be like a multi-stage. First you have to go to the library and you have to appeal for access to it, and then you have to they have to approve your appeal and send it to the royal court, and the royal court has to blah blah blah, and you have to whatever, and then finally you get it. So it should be like a multi-part adventure just to get into the library, and then you should be asked tasks and find interesting librarians that might spook you or whatever in order to get it. I think that will be kind of an interesting alternate adventure. That will be a pre-adventure to get on the real adventure, so to speak, where you can level up
Anna's slow advancement.
Yeah. And also my deep roots, I want adventures to be deep set in the setting, so to speak. And yeah.
So 2 things. Gary says that he put Candlekeep in Rel Astra. Okay.
Yep, that works too. Yep.
Now, I want everyone to look. Relmored's supposed to be capital, right?
Yep.
Look at this map. Look at Anna's map. What do you notice? There's no way there's nothing within 150, 200 miles of it.
Yeah, exactly. That not been detailed. It
There's
should
no detail.
Exactly. On my campaign map, there's a little bit more, not much, because I haven't adventured much in Iron, but that should have tons of cities and towns and stuff like that around. So yeah, along those roads, there is a town every 5 miles.
Feels like home to me.
Or village. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's so much development area of this. I think isn't Valmoku a Niron player there? He may be doing some development in this area, but wow, that is empty around a capital.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're all like that. I mean, isn't Rel Astra like that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at this.
But it's because they are too good and civilized. So most adventurers never never go there because there's no reason to go there. But it should be developed, so to speak. Definitely.
That's it. Well, Michael, I knew you were working on it. All right, so very good one, Anna. Jason, you got one you want to throw out?
Well, so wonders really, it covers a lot of things. If we're looking at, just terrain, I would say you're going to have to look at the Rift Canyon like we look at, it's just a massive natural feature. And, it's home to White Plume Mountain. It's home to, we have the Bandit Kingdoms around it. It is a massive natural feature. So that, like we talk about the wonders of our Earth, this is in the Flyness. It's got to be a tremendous thing for people to see is the Rift Canyon.
So what's your opinion on the depth? We've had that discussion before.
Wow.
Well, I haven't really. I mean, I like having a fantasy world go beyond what our natural expectations would be.
Yeah.
So even if it doesn't make sense as like as a natural feature, like a river that is cut through the millennia, or and cut out a natural feature. I like having the Rift Canyon be of an exceptional depth, be just to add a like, why is it this way? It doesn't,
Yeah. Okay.
just as a fantasy element. Like, I wouldn't mind if it was in the shape of a big footprint, but you know,
No,
I,
but
I that's a little much. But I like having the Rift Canyon be extraordinarily old,
yeah.
and also still of significant depth, but showing wear, great wear all around it. And so that at some time in the past, it was even a more significant feature. Now, I'm
That's
not
cool.
getting
Yeah.
into any depths per,
No, but I,
I'm
I
not
I
getting any
totally agree
numbers.
with your discussion, and I think you struck on a very important point, because that's something, if you compare to real world rift canyons, they come to be usually like the Grand Canyon, because a river cuts through the landscape. So you have like a landscape that is a certain level, and then the river simply eats through the landscape over millennia. That's how most canyons come to be. But the Rift Canyon doesn't have a river going through. That's the so and if it were, then the mountains need to be really tall. Otherwise, it wouldn't be much of a canyon. So I simply assume that it's a big hole in the ground, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of depicted that way.
No, it's definitely a wonder. It's a good one,
Yep.
Jason. 100%.
Yep. I totally agree. It's the biggest geographical wonders in the Flatties.
I'm going off the board here on one that's published in a book. So we're going to go here. We're going to go into the Vespy. All right. And let's see if I can do this properly. Oh. So go. The Singing Stones of the Vespy Forest.
Yep.
All right. There. So let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. It's easier. More. It can be seen a little bit more up too much. Hold it at 150. There we go. All right. So the Stinging Stones. Within the forested hills stands a 40-foot diameter circle of 42 stones. Look at that. That's got to be a Hitchhiker's Guide connection there, right? Why would you put 42 in? Yeah. So I think that's exactly what that is. And it's on a grassy knoll, and birds and wildlife flee the area. It's pretty interesting. So when a wind comes through, they become musical, and then they disappear. It stops. It's an area that the stones were erected by members of a very old Druidic sect. So it's a great connection in if you're old faith. You want to do some old faith things. So magical scrying has been able to establish that the stones have considerable latent magical power. So, and you can see there's abilities in here, DM information showing you that you can communicate through them. You can do a lot of things in this area. Druid of Obadiah, so that is old faith in my game too. It's a neat old faith connection to the world, and it's in the Vespy, which is so massive that you can have some fun with that. I have like Stonehenge settings all throughout the Vespy Forest in my Vespy campaign. So it's definitely a neat place to adventure, and this is one of those that's set within there. So, and there's a lot of these throughout this from the Ashes book and through Greyhawk Adventures, and I may be referencing some of them tonight. So 42, yeah, it's got to be that. It's got to be that Obsidian. Definitely, it's got to be Hitchhikers. So, Mike, what do you got? Got one you want to discuss?
Well, you're talking about stone circles, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of stone circles outside the city of Greyhawk.
Yes, there is. I don't think they'll be on this map, and unless you have super detail. But they're in
Stone circle. No, it's not on that one.
Yeah, it's right here. It's about right here.
It's under the
Yeah, it's somewhere in that area. Yeah, it's
right near the gate.
It's right near the mill, the Rainwright's house, right?
The east gate, yeah.
Yeah, the
Druid's gate, as a matter of fact.
Yep. There's a druid. See if I can bring that up.
So, if I recall the writing on it,
I'm gonna
it
find
has
it.
something to do with a great druid. So it's not a lightweight site. And the site's popular for being a place where you can go and have privacy. Can't describe on
I
there.
think it's outside. It should be here. Gates. Here it is. Druid's Gate, Highway Gate, Garden Gate, Black Gate. Where it should be right here somewhere. Wharf Gate, Contraband.
So given stone circles tend to be old in construction, I would say it had to have been there maybe before or during the foundation of the
I
Town
know
of
it's.
Greyhawk?
I know it states in here that you can do communing with nature in it. There's an ability to commune with nature. It should be right here at the Druid's Gate. I thought it was here, but
It's in the blue book and talking about, outside.
yeah, and that's where I am right now. I'm outside the gates right here. Barge End, Shacktown, Wharves. Here it is. Stone Ring. Yay, I found it. Page 41. I found it. Yay. Okay, so here we go. There it is. Yep. So, character standing among the central stones of the arch can speak, act, and think without being observed by any magical means. Oh, so you're shielded there. So it's a place you want to go. You can meet there and not worry about people magically scrying on you. It's just pretty interesting. So, and they're worn smooth, which means it is old. So it is flan old.
So guess what my players did
They
when
destroyed
they
it.
found that out? No. When they had an enemy that they wanted to dispose of, they would bury them inside that circle so that nobody could locate
awesome.
the remains.
What a great idea. Don't give Tim.
Yeah.
Hopefully Tim's not watching.
Yeah.
Oh, great idea, Mike. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Cyber, thanks. Thank you so very much.
Too late.
Look at all. Yeah, too late. Oh no. Yeah, there is a web article, Earth Scribe. I know from Eric. Yeah, Eric Menke did a lot of cool things, including the Grail Grumbler. So yeah, the stone rings there. There's Lord Rainwright's Manors right here.
Yeah, if you look it up, there's an archive of those old articles, and it goes into more detail about some of the druids who tend to the circles. So just Google it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very neat. Good one.
And
Anna.
Okay, we talked a little about David and a bunch of others mentioned in chat Vera Loss, the old Flan stronghold that was on the verge of Rift Canyon when Jason took up Rift Canyon. That was on my list. So
Okay.
it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of, it was a really cool place. And I want to take it up wonders because, and for one reason that is not obvious, it's not described anywhere, but I think it's kind of obvious from the location, meaning you can have the coolest dungeons in there that could be miles deep and still have access to the air, so to speak. So you can have dungeons that are built inside the cliff face going straight down.
And you can have them come out on the sides.
Exactly,
too.
you can come out on the
anthill.
side and stuff. So yeah, so you can have interesting dungeons under Veralos, and that goes with a number of other locations in Rift Canyon that can be really cool. Like you can have like a bridge over to a stone pillar that goes way thousands of feet down and stuff. So
a
so you have,
rappelling adventure.
yeah, exactly. You can have lots of cool, kind of innovative, weird, kind of alternate variations of the dungeons, of the classic dungeons, so to speak, in a location like Veralos that I think is really cool. And I also have some, because it was supposed to be built during the reign of the Isle of Woe. And I have theories on the Isle of Woe that I'm going to talk about during my seminar at Greyhawk Con.
Just next Friday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Week
So I'm
from
prepping
Friday.
some, yeah. So I have some alternate, or kind of not, I wouldn't say alternate, but an explanation of a lot of these kind of cool events that you can use if you want to. So yeah.
Okay.
That will
So
be one
What
of the
would be a
points.
really nasty trap for Veralos? You know how a lot of dungeons like Tomb of Horrors and whatnot have those
Yeah.
teleportal traps, like, oh, I teleport you to a different room. Oh,
Yeah,
your
but
items
you
are in
don't
this
need to.
room. You're in this room.
You can just have a sliding
Or
floor
slide.
trap or something like that when you
Or
go
a
in.
slide.
Yeah.
So in Verilos, a slide or a teleportal trap.
Yeah, it's a slide
to the Rift
straight
Canyon.
out, and then you just
To the Rift
flung
Canyon.
out into the
Just-
Rift Canyon, and you disappear down. Yeah,
yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So Pat 66 had the canyon is an ancient strip mine that was abandoned and weather eroded. Interesting. Boy, that's got to
Yeah.
be.
That's one hell of a miner.
Yeah,
But you
wow.
have some sci-fi culture who was there mining stuff for a long time ago and abandoned it. So if you
Yeah.
want to introduce, you can do cool stuff like that. So yeah.
That's a great thing. You can do some really, really neat
Yeah.
things in this area.
So that was the kind of, yeah, that was my one that I wanted to do that was already covered in chat, so to speak. So yeah.
Okay.
You like
Cool.
the movie The Abyss, and there is a spaceship down there and just rises up out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Don't
cool.
say
Yeah.
spaceship and Gary in the same sentence. You don't want Gary's head exploding. So Carlos is welcome to hop in if he wants. So Jason, what do you got, man?
All right, I'm stuck on the visual. There's things that are, certainly wonders, like the Machine of Lum the Mad. So you look at it and it's outstandingly wondrous thing. But I'm still stuck on the visual that we've been talking about. So I would say wonders doesn't necessarily mean things that are good. So I would say one of the most wonders of construction has to be Uz's Road of Skulls. Which, if you deal with both wars, there's also the Road of Bones from Chendal to Crockport and Furion.
Northeast.
No, it would be here. Here's Crockport, right?
No. But the Road of Skulls is in Uz's land.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the road. I thought you were talking about the bone road and stuff. All right.
The road
it's up from Doraka south.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, the Road of Bones is an imitation of the Road of Skulls.
Got it.
All right. The Road of Skulls existed pre-wars. All right. Now, according to second edition sources, like Uz the Evil, it actually empowered what they called the demons at that time were like the Tanari or something. And that the very process of building that road of skulls, and you can imagine it is, it is a full-size road, but it is also brimming with evil enchantment. And it's very construction, and the forced passage, if you're going to Uz's capital, you're forced to cross this road, and the very process of crossing it adds to the strength of demons. That is one of the attractions. It's one of the things that why they like helping us, besides him being a Cambion half demon himself and his father being Gratz. But Uz has constructed, it's like the Great Wall. It's like you just crossing his land is this massive road made of skulls of all sorts of humans, demi-humans. Those are the ones he likes the best.
The 8 wonders.
Yeah, and you have the devouring bridge over the Opicum river is there too.
Opicum?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You use Jay, your map is too old. We need to update it.
See, I'm using the 576. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too.
It could be in the 576.
Oh yeah, but it was old. So I've added stuff since. So
I'm not worried about extra areas if I'm not using them in my campaign either that much. So,
that's why we haven't updated your map. So yeah.
So mile after mile of this horrendous road where the very skulls underneath scream out at you. It's just, it's a horrific. It's like a path through hell. And it is right there. Now, it's not wonderful, but it has to be incredibly impressive. It's one of the wonders of Earth in a very evil way. But there's plenty of evil characters and creatures who might look at it differently. And then, like you said, later after the war, there's the Road of Bones from Crockport to Chendal. But that one is not enchanted.
So very cool. Good one, Jason. Very appreciative of that. Mayan, I'm going to, here come, all right. Are you ready for something? And Gary's going to go, really? Are you ready for this? I am afraid, one of the few times I'm afraid to actually take a legend and use it for fear of what do I do afterwards? All right. And that is my favorite, the Lord Mill Mountains, which a lot of my adventuring is in. This is right there. We're going to go to this book. We're going to go to Greyhawk Adventures. Okay. And we're going to go to pages 100 to 101 to 102. And Esmerin. Okay. So here's my predicament. Because the Lord Mills have always been famous for their gems and precious metals. This is an area, if I recall, that has stone giants and halflings living together, right? In harmony. In a Dealk land which halflings and giants lived in peaceful cooperation, blessed with fertile soil, health, and great deposit of gold. So, yeah. So this is an area. My problem is once I place it, I can never place it again, right? Because it's a legend. It's like this is one of those where I'm kind of scared to do. So
I don't think I have placed it.
Right, exactly, because it's a legend, right? So
yep.
I don't know how. No, Gary. So it's a tough one, right? Because when you take legends, this is probably. I always say don't worry about the canon, but when you're talking about something that's like this, once I place it, I can't move it unless I say it has magical capability of moving, which is kind of cheesy. And I think a lot of DMs have that problem.
Also, you will acknowledge it as true. Legends don't necessarily have to be
absolutely.
true, but
which
if you
I think
place it, then it becomes true.
Right. But see, it says here's our favorite Carwood here. Which is in Selene, everyone, right? Mike proved that about 6 months ago. And Grove has a 5 simple foot of river flows into the Jewel south of Carwood. So right now we already know that it's near Altamira, south of Carwood, right?
Hang on a second. I have placed it on the map. It's 10 miles west of Altamira on my map.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I've always ignored it. I've always ignored it. It's always been there. We've just ignored it. So here it is. What?
See,
I'm going to blow this up. I just ignored it, and I've always ignored it. Look, it's right next to
Well, it's like the real world. You don't.
But it's got a road to it, Anna.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning, it's like in the real world. If you have a wander outside the door, you don't go to. You go to see the stuff on the other end of the world. So yeah. Like, I bet there are people who live their entire life in New York City without going to the top of the Empire State Building and stuff like that.
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to race that road that goes up there because I don't think there should be a road to it, and then maybe we'll just leave it there in that crevice because I can see it's in a valley.
You can see the giants Altamira. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good question.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there you go. It's been on the map all this time, but I haven't officially ever used it, and I've just left it there. And we're adding stuff like Anna and I have to put like in this area here. But we have one. We have Merm's Tower here. This is a more high resolution map. That's why I use this one. But there's like 4 locations in the Mike Disney campaign, all in this area right here. We got to add in shortly, so it's getting filled. But
then you have to remove Esmerin too.
We can leave it there, but I think that road should go. So there you go. I think that was kind of funny that you actually. Oh my gosh, there's a road to it. So
yeah.
Yeah, Gaetano would help out. I don't know. He may be running a game or something tonight. I haven't seen him this weekend. So, all right. I think we're back up to Mike.
Well, speaking of legends that are not placed on any map, an interesting wonder for the World of Greyhawk might be the Well of All Heals. Now, as Jay starts furiously digging for the reference to that, it's in everyone's favorite prize book, Treasures of Greyhawk.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's intentionally supposed to be this place, I think, that moves around. It's like a Holy Grail type quest location. At least that's how I took it. It's a place where you can bring someone back from the dead, or restore lost limbs, or whatever heals you. Insanity, stuff like that. So it's supposed to be a place that's real hard to find. You got to do your research. You got to go journeying. In my particular case, I was running my Sea Princess campaign, so I had them tooling off into the South Seas to find some, uncharted island where the Well of All Heals only appears like once every blue moon, So stuff like that.
So you have it. Here's page 75.
But it's like a little short interlude adventure in the module, and I think it's for all levels of play.
Very cool.
And, yeah, it's quite interesting. Check it out.
Yeah, awesome.
Throw it in your campaign.
Cool.
Yep. So I know. Thank you there, Calcif. I know that Tommy John Kelly did a story on Esmeralda. Absolutely. Yeah, this is a cool one. And this Treasures of Greyhawk has wonders within it all throughout, and that is a great one, Mike. Really a good one. And I would say this well could actually probably bounce around. I think appear and disappear in different places, just because of its power. It's really neat. I mean, if you want to take someone who's severely injured of some sort, this is a fix, right? Or severely dying of something. Or,
this is not like, hey, let's go to the local temple type thing. This is like, we have to go here. Oh, it's a big curse. Right? We can't get removed. Well, we can here.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Oh, no Neogi, Mac, no Neogi, no Spelljammer. I should have known it. Yeah, it's cool.
The Palace of 1001 Rooms asks, what in a nutshell has he missed?
Oh, you missed some cool stuff, but it's all right. Good thing is it'll be on YouTube by the morning or back
Greyhawk things. We've been from like Rift Canyon to Castle Greyhawk to wherever Esmerin's at. All around.
So real quick on this, I have run the Shroud of Carine, which Anna placed on her map about a year ago. Finally, it's in Robbler's at Ruined Keep, and I just recently ran Crossing into Steel. That my friend in my game, Tom's character, got the Sword of the Santher in that one, which is another artifact. So this is a great book for that. Really fantastic. We give them out all the time. So.
And very worthwhile picking up. A lot of people aren't aware of Treasures of Greyhawk.
Yeah, because it's second edition, but it's great stuff. So, yeah, man, that's great. Keep up the chat. Yeah, Carlos, lurk away if you can. Really, always appreciate it. So, good one there. So, Vosh Voyager says the Lazarus Pit of D&D. I don't know what that is. Jason, do you know what that is?
No, I don't offhand.
No.
Lazarus.
The Lazarus Pit, I believe, is a DC Comics reference.
Oh.
Ra's al Ghul, Batman.
Yeah, where they can be reborn in it. Yeah, I remember it now. It was actually in the TV show. Yeah. Yeah, the Lazarus Pit brought back to life two characters. Yeah, kind of. Yep. It's kind of like the well. Yeah, makes sense now. Thank you, Mike.
Very good. Lazarus Pit. Yeah.
Anna, you're up.
Okay, now I can't resist a good elven place of wonders. So I have one that I'm not exactly sure when it was introduced, but it's the moon arc of the Sehanin that is north of Selene. From the Ashes, okay, yeah.
Let me go to that.
The details. So yeah, it's one of these kind of interesting. I don't know if it has that much lore, but it's one of one of these kind of cool, cool elven locations.
Here it is.
That I think I will run differently, but we'll see. Yeah.
Moonarch of Selene. The elves of Selene harbor many secrets, but few are exotic as the Moonarch. In the spur of the Lortmill Mountains, northwest of Enstad, and they spell is a standalone arch some 200 feet in diameter. That's a big arch.
Yep.
That's not as big as the St. Louis Arch, but it's big.
No, but it's big. Yeah, it's big. Yep. And I want to have it as a gate to the Feywild that opens at festivals, like every time Celine is full, and you go there and you praise, then it becomes an opening to the Feywild, and the elves go there and to meet their relatives who moved there, and all sorts of stuff, have religious and it's big festivities, so to speak. So that's how I've envisioned it, the use of it. So
It says it's a demi-plane of testing in here based on your deity, and you
I
cannot
don't
go
use
in
the
if you're evil.
testing. Yeah, I don't use the testing per se, but very
Okay.
similar, so to speak. So yeah.
It's cool. An elf returning from the test will often seek the leaving, which I don't do. Which usually traveling to Lendor Isle. So you're gonna go to Lela Kafka's Isle. I'm sorry, that's dumb. Sorry, Jason, you agree with me on that?
The Lens
They're gonna leave to go to Len's Isle. No.
Spindrift maybe.
Oh
but,
my
yeah,
gosh,
but,
that's
but I
painful.
don't run it that way. But I love the location and the big arc that can open up and become
It's
a gate.
There's a whole page on it. So
yep.
Yeah, the leaving. I can't stand that.
It's a little bit too Tolkien-esque, maybe.
A little, minor.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, minor. Yeah.
So.
But I wanted to point it out as something you can kind of use in your campaign.
Yeah.
And kind of tweak it the way you want it and so on. So I think it's one of these that you can really play up the magic of it, and you can turn it into a gate or some monument that has some really cool effect that the elves use every festival when the Celine is full or something similar.
So I'm gonna say this one time, and then I'll end it. That the leaving is not old school Greyhawk with elves. Sorry.
No, it was from the Carl Sargent era introduction. So yeah,
I can't stand it.
Well, I kind of make a variant of it that is different from that. So I don't use it the way Carl Sargent envisioned it. I have it different, but that's something for another stream. Yep.
Jason, what do you got?
Oh, okay. I'm still caught up in, like that Moon Arch, things that are like visually stunning. And one of them would have to be in the Adri Forest, and it's the Coldwood. Now, in the Adri Forest, long time ago, now this is Sargentism. This is second edition good stuff. All right, and I like it. I'll tell you, this is a good one.
Yeah,
all right.
I agree.
So down there in the southeast Adri, we have a spot of forest that is a frozen forest. It is, I think it's supposed to be continually like 5 below zero there. Now, in the Adri, thousands of years ago, because Sargent felt he was dealing with the Flan, that are the early Flan before. And so anyway, there was a wonderful gray elven city called the City of the Summer Stars. Now, they were being approached by these Flanish necromancers. And to defend them, the prince of the city, Darnanian or something, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name exactly, he created a sword called Hunger.
Darnakurian, I think it was.
Darnakurian. Nice one.
And, all right, and the Hunger blade is the most powerful blade perhaps that ever existed. And he killed thousands of the Flan and drove them from the city. But he brought it back to his mother, who was the queen of the City of Summer Stars, and she was appalled. And actually, I think even beforehand, before he slaughtered the Flan, and he killed her in the great palace there, the Palace of Heaven, I think. And then the city disappeared. And for thousands of years, there's been this frozen forest. The only thing that is outside of this city where it was is this castle of that prince. And I believe he is, some form of him, I think, is still in there. And so the whole area is protected by these gray elves called the Sentinels. And I'd actually done some work on a whole series on this that I have to try to unearth, called the Sentinels of Bitterness and the Sentinels of Hunger. And Anyway, so in the Adri today, and it's supposed to have existed in 576 and before, thousands of years. So you're going to find it now as you approach it in the Adri, which is a fairly dangerous forest to cross. You are going to start encountering more and more dangerous creatures, starting with like ettercaps and all these dangerous forest beasts. And they are surrounding, they're either summoned or naturally attracted to this place. So to even reach the coldwood, you have to cross through one of the most dangerous parts of the Adri forest. And when you get there, then you've got these Sentinels who are incredibly powerful fighter magic users. And then there is something at the center. The city's gone. And you have to, it could be anything. And so I really love that. So that is a sergeant area. And visually, the Adri is a normal forest. It's, up in by Niron, the Great Kingdoms up there. The Bone Marches to the north. So it's fairly north, but it is not a place where you're going to find a section of forest. And look how big that is. A big section, a circle of forest, 5 below. So it is a frozen forest. And visually, it is going to be one of the most amazing wonders that you're going to see on Earth.
I'd say so. And deadly.
Yes, exceptionally deadly.
So speaking of exceptionally deadly, I think it comes down to me right next. Let's talk about this one, which I'm not sure where this is placed, but I think this is way down near the Isle of Dread, far shore, that whole area. And that is called Journey's End. I'm going to show you a picture. This picture's from JMB 9028. He's a friend of Dungeon Meister, and they do work together, and this is in their Living Greyhawk campaign. There's a thing called the Sargasso. Is that the one where it sucks up all the ships?
Oh, yes.
Okay. This is a picture of them stuck in it.
Where is it, you said?
I think it's down. I'm asking Gary for. I think it's down way south, down near, down near the Isle of Dread and the far shore. I don't think it's specifically placed, but what happens is that in the morning you wake up and your ship is basically floating in water, surrounded by reeds, and you're stuck there. And then these awful monsters come and destroy you. And this is in the setting. I think it's cool. Now, I don't think it's the same as a Sargasso, right? Because that also captures ships, correct?
Well, you have areas. Yeah, you have areas where there's so much bubbles in the water that the buoyancy gets screwed up and stuff. So that can happen at volcano eruptions and stuff like that in the real world. That can screw up with the buoyancy.
Okay, a normal Sargasso is where the reading goes away. This is I think this is neat, and I'm not sure if this is from Savage Tide or if it's in a Far Shore reference. But I found it really cool, and I didn't think a lot of people in the campaign would know about it and note that Dungeon Meister's done adventures there, so and he's doing a lot of post-Living Greyhawk stuff. And here's them actually traveling out of it, attempting to go to the center of this, trying to find out what the malevolence is behind it. And I thought it was neat. There's also, I liked it a lot because in their story, there was just recently next to them a Scarlet Brotherhood ship called Rage that was stuck in it, and they all had gotten, all the crew members on it got killed. So I was like, "Ooh, that's great! I like that part of the story." So yeah, so there you go. Yeah, it's called Journey's End, or Scribe. There you go. So, yeah, and as you can see, it traps ships, kind of like a lot of other ones. So there you go. So I found one that was a wonder that is very unique, and that may be very obscure. So,
yeah, there's some great source material for that idea. Of course, is the supposedly in the Caribbean, the Sargasso Sea, where there was a mass of seaweed that would catch people. There's a Vincent Price movie that's absolutely fantastically fun.
Yep.
You can't take it to, but it's Vincent Price. And then there's an extremely horrific novel by William Hope Hodgson called The Boats of the Glen Carrig that is scare the pants out of you. It's really a kind of takeoff on a Lovecraftian mythos kind of thing.
Nice.
And it is, Hodgson's a really scary writer. So yeah, and so they all have this kind of thing. And the Vincent Price is a lot of fun, but it's like this where your ship gets trapped and there's all these ships, and then you notice that there's lights on some of the far distant ships that are trapped, and people are trying to make their way across it because you're stuck there and in this sea of weeds that is crushing your ship. It's really cool.
I thought it was a really neat idea to have, and that, like, you know, can you see for miles and miles? You're just like, oh crap, you know, what are you going to do at this point? You're not going to. There's no way to sail out of it. So I thought it was really cool. So awesome, Mike, you're up.
So does anyone know where the Endless Well is at?
No.
Then that means Tenzer is doing his job right,
Okay.
because the Endless Well is hidden
So it's
within
like-
the Fortress of Unknown Depths,
Okay.
Tenzer's castle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's Midbay.
By Mage Point. Yeah, there you go.
Mage Point
It's-
or Tenser's
It's-
castle itself.
It's the
The castle.
Yeah. So it's right here.
Yeah, it's not mentioned in it, but Tenser's Castle is actually drawn in, I believe, Artifact of Evil. There's actually a picture.
Yep.
that
No,
he
it's
has
in
drawn.
it's in Return of the Eight too.
All right, and
Oh,
it's also in
yeah.
Dragon 294.
Nice.
I
Yep.
think it's a Clyde Caldwell.
What does it do, Mike?
Yeah, it's a Clyde
Is it-
Caldwell from.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
thinking.
Tenzer did not build this castle, I believe. The lore goes, the castle was already there, probably early Great Kingdom era, if not earlier.
Probably even older. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if Great Kingdom might have built the castle, but I think the well has been there longer. And the well is an automated well, golems and other magical contraptions that draws up Orth blood,
Oh,
That's
Which
great.
can
That
be-
is a great thing.
which can be fashioned into artifacts. The module says much like the Machine of Lum the Mad and the Servant of Luco. This is, so if there's any kind of really weird artifact level metal objects, it may have got its material from this place.
cool.
And that's why Tenzer jealously guards it. I think part of the Return of the Eighth deal is that there's always mysterious sounds coming from the castle that are unexplained, and he has never told anyone, not even the Circle of Eight, what's going on down there.
So once again, he's built his keep around the location to protect it.
Definitely
Yeah.
built his career around that location. Yeah.
That's an awesome one. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's a Living Greyhawk journal in the Dragon, when they combine the two.
Yep.
And that talks about the Endless Well.
So real quick on this one, does anyone know what the ancient site is on this map? Right here.
No, I don't know, but it's
Oh.
mentioned as an ancient site.
Site.
Yeah.
Anna, you should remember, it's your first ever time playing with me.
Yeah.
This
you-
is the
you-
ancient
You
si-
made it. Yeah.
This is the ancient site where Miracle the Chaotic awakened the two dragons and the adventure for the Orbit Dragonkind that we did.
Mhm.
The very first fundraiser we ever did. I had 220 followers at that time. Oh my gosh, that's how long ago that was placed on the map. That was probably one of the
Yeah.
first things you ever put on the map for me. Oh, awesome. And see, stuff just builds up on these maps. It's really
Yep.
cool. Anna, you're up.
Okay, now I want to go royal for a bit and say
Oh.
that one of the underestimated type of adventures that I think should go along with the dungeon and the city adventures and stuff is courtly intrigue and royal court intrigue. And I think one of the most pompous, most impressive courts in the Flannies today, since the Greyhawk Kingdom have kind of the Great Kingdom kind of fell apart, so to speak, and declined, then I think it's Neoldra. The Kiowish court is probably one of the most pompous, that has the most elaborate court rituals, been around for millennia, and it's been kind of untouched and not being revolutionized or caught by too many drastic influences from outside. So if you want to have like deep court intrigue and stuff, then it could be an interesting. But when it's a lot of diplomat, and it might not necessarily be Kiowish intrigue. It might be one of these where all the foreign ambassadors get invited to various functions and get-togethers, and you have to hammer out the deal. You have to stab someone in the back, or you have to find out why someone got killed, and all sorts of interesting things can happen at a court. So I think I want to bring some attention to Neoldra and its court for that purpose, so to speak. That it can be an interesting adventure locations.
And also you see Silent Towers on this map too, right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's a lot of good stuff going on in this area
Yep.
of Keeland. So that's a good one. Oh, that's funny, Gary. Neodraw got its first Kumquat Julian franchise finally. Well, you know.
Yep.
You gotta have it. You gotta have those
Yep.
Kumquats. You know,
Yep.
gotta be known for something.
Yep.
A nice one there. We go to Jason.
Well, I just wanted to say about what Anna's talking about is pomp and circumstance. I mean, like Noldral and all of the big cities that still have like these emperors or monarchies, or where you're being summoned into the audience with these leaders, they are not stinting on making this an incredible spectacle. You know,
just finding the right tailor and have 6 months to get the right attire and so on to be able to attend. It could be tricky, and spend all that to impress and also speak.
Yeah, and outside of things, there's when you attend court, you're attending it in the most gaudy, the most spectacular dress. All these people are coming to court, you know, on a regular basis, and the people attending, because they always talk about, you know, the people who are summoned to court, the ladies in waitings, the retainers, you know, there is and then the celebrations. The celebrations can have endless kinds of entertainment at court, you know, just continual things, not just like, you know, pyrotechnics, music, jugglers, dancers, contortionists, you know, all these things happening one after another, or sometimes happening at the same time. There's going to be spectacular banners. There's going to be, you know, trumpeters announcing individuals. It is going to be anywhere you're going to find it. Now, Gygax actually describes a ceremony in Selene that is supposed to be absolutely unbelievable, but of course, few people would ever see it.
Yeah.
So one of the wonders of the earth is the palace at what is that name?
Instad.
Yeah. No. Yeah. In Selene, it is Gygax tries to describe it as this ceremony, and it's so important that almost anything else, no matter what is happening, is set aside for that night. It is supposed to be we actually have the date of it and everything, but it is one of the most important celebrations for elves in Selene, and it's supposed to be unbelievable. And he does a good description of these various, the central palace, and then all around it are parks and sub-palaces designed to look like one is underwater, one is like a great forest, you know, one is a deep, you know, like looks like I believe like a deep cavernous place. It's just supposed to be, you know, a fantastic sight. And so to me, those are always like those things that on our earth that you would be stunned by. That is things that on this earth are still stunning wonders that we see.
There's the Moonarch right there too.
And it could be interesting challenges for bards and clerics and wizards and anyone who have various, meaning you have to solve puzzles that are social puzzles and have historic knowledge in order to be able to talk properly to so and find the right person to talk to and not offend anyone and stuff like that. So yeah.
Good one. I'm going to go off the board again.
Mhm.
Loan a car. So, this is fandom, right? This is created by, this is the one created by Nellis here, right? Nathan Irving created Loan a Car. Am I correct there, Gary?
Might be, yeah.
Yeah, so if you want an area, a little intrigue, and you want a Sewell post, invoke devastation, lands that are in the Sea of Dust, that are not destroyed, this is where you want to go. And it's on Anna's map, so if you, and as you can see here, whoops, there you go, it is here. So, and Anna said she may relocate it back into this area here, you thinking?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it may be
it
moved.
needs to be redesigned a bit. Yeah, so it can match the and I need to look at the maps. Amy Crittenden wrote an interesting article
Yeah,
in World
definitely.
Journal about it too. So yeah. So
Yeah.
it needs to be
And
adjusted.
then you got the new map on it, and that is it. So
yeah, there's so much more information now than when I did the map originally. Then I just had a name and that was about it.
it's untainted by the Flannis, as Gary says in chat, and there's a river there, and it's fertile land. I like the idea. I like the idea that there wasn't complete destruction, 100% everywhere, and it's there's only really one way in. It looks like from this that this is all cliffed. So to get up here, you got to find your way up a cliff face because it's a long waterfall. So this is a higher elevation than the rest of the land. So it's not easy to get to. I like it. So just wanted to bring up that is cool. Is that an aqueduct? It certainly looks like an aqueduct to me.
Might be.
There's an aqueduct there too. So very got some technology there. Very nicely done. Just wanted to say another one that I like that's outside of normal canon, and check it out. What resources that detailed in? Lainey did it's in a recent Earth journal.
Yeah, I think it's the latest.
Is it the latest? I think it's one of the last couple ones.
Yeah,
so,
one of the last couple. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep. Mike, you're up.
Well, a wonder of Greyhawk that is an event is the Despotium of Magic in the city of Greyhawk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone's ever used this. It's kind of one of those holiday deals in the box, City of Greyhawk box set that I always enjoyed. And it's where it's put on by the Guild of Wizards. It's like an illusion contest, and I think that's really unique to the city.
Is it in Folks, Feuds, and Factions, Mike? Under Magic?
Under wherever holidays are at.
Okay, I'm not going to find it right off the bat here. So
yeah,
but
the teams of wizards compete by trying to make the most believable illusions of the city of Greyhawk being attacked. Now, from a DM standpoint, if that isn't the best cover for some kind of real plot for your game, I don't know what is. Armies of dragons and giants and humanoids attacking the city. They're all illusions. Everyone coming out to watch. It's like a festival. There's events, food vendors and all that stuff. The whole city's watching it. Meanwhile, the rest of the city's unguarded.
So, when is it going to be that someone's going to go, what a great illusion, and they're not going to be illusions?
Right. So everyone's expecting illusions, and that's a good time for actual monsters to sneak into the city. So it's great.
How about an illusion of the Doom Grinder?
Wow, that's a lifelike.
Yeah, that would be painful. I was a joke, so yeah. But that's a great one. I've
But
never
I
used it.
consider that a wonder because
Oh yeah.
this
Thank you.
city of Greyhawk is the only city that I know of that has the infrastructure and it's got that time leisure, for a leisure activity of that high magic level. I guess other cities could do it. If you do the disporting of magic and Roxas, let's say, it'd be entirely different. Or in Doraka, or I don't know. It would be different in other places.
Definitely a cool idea to even bring that up. And something that I would have loved to have utilized in the decades I played there, and I never have. And Mike, thanks for that idea. That's a good high level or even mid idea to throw something.
Anybody.
It's annual, so
yeah, you get your opportunity once a year.
Every year. Yeah.
Good idea. That's a good one. Anna, what do you got?
Now I'm thinking, we've been to various courts and elves and stuff, but I'm also thinking that sometimes you want to send someone patron might want to send the characters to buy something that is rare to be found, so to speak, like rare spices or maybe even a rare drug or some magic component ingredients or something. And I was thinking, where do interesting places where you can buy interesting things would be in Greyhawk, in the world of Greyhawk. Greyhawk is an obvious one, and Divers maybe, and some of the central located cities. But if you want to really go off the charts to find some of the coolest shopping areas in the Flannies, then my bet will be to go to the bazaars of Zeif. And because there you can find connections way west, so to speak. You can find things that are way off the map, far west, from lands that are not even mentioned in any official Greyhawk source, so to speak. And it's a big city metropolis. So I would say that Zeif or one of the cities in the far northwest, so in the Bakloonish lands, so Kofe or Zeif would be or Ekbir would be high. But I think that now I have a doggy that's stealing all the treats here, so sorry. So got into the treat bag. Yeah, so Zeif or Kofe or Ekbir will have bazaars in one of these cities. Will be kind of an interesting place to go, an adventure just to get there, and then you have to find the item in something rare, whatever it is, and so the out of some of the best, most interesting shopping experiences in the world of Greyhawk can probably be found there, at least within the Flannies.
Yeah. Well, Zeif's like the most western city you're going to find. It's a port city.
Yeah.
It's
that has connections way west, so to speak, that can import rare stuff.
43,000 population. I mean, it's huge. It's a gigantic city for the Bakloonish areas and a big city for anywhere else. So Zeif,
I can imagine it has big bazaars or something, called bazaars or something that will be kind of legendary. Yeah.
Nice, Anna. All right, Mike. I'm sorry, Jason. You're back up.
Oh, all right. Well, there's so much to talk about, and I could jump on a lot of things like the city of Greyhawk, some of the Bakloonish places. But I wanted to mention this because it's an outstanding site that most people are never going to see. It's the Vault of the Drow. And the entire earliest Drow city is there of Ereli Sinlu. Pronunciation. But one of the reasons why I always consider it an early Drow city is the Drow are gray elves who have split off, and they have gone under earth. And they have discovered, as they've dug onto the earth, this vast magical cavern. It radiates power. It radiates this, I guess, purplish light even. And you have to imagine that this is all unsupported. The vaulting series, that's why it's the vault. It's big enough for, I believe it's the 8 or 16 families of the Drow to each have their own Drow house there.
States. Yeah.
I believe it's got a underground access to an underground lake on the edge of the city. It's got this huge tower at the entranceway called the Black Tower, where everybody coming in by passageway has to check in. Now, the reason why it looks, and it has the city, it has the big Drow city of Ereli Sinlu, and it is very strangely done like a surface city. When you come into the vault, you know, strange growth, strange plants, there's a huge vaulting series, this purple magical radiance that you can feel that allows this enchantment of their weapons to incredible powers. You see a tower, and I mean, it's like an earthly tower. It goes up, it doesn't reach the roof, and it's got the crenellations and everything built like you would have had on the surface. Now you go past this tower and you come to these houses and these cities. And when I mean houses, I don't mean little houses like this and that. I mean like the House of Elseers, which was Eclabdra's house, where they all belonged like a clan or a tribe of Drow. And that house was like a huge drug lord's compound with, you know, supporters and soldiers. And then you come to a city of the Drow, but it's built like a city on the surface of the earth. So instead of like in Menzoberranzan, where they're living in stalactites and columns from top to bottom, which I actually like, I think, you know, fine thing. You're thinking three-dimensionally, you know, roof and bottom, you have to think about all things. But in the vault of the Drow, they're protected, and they're living on the surface of the vault. And in this city is a night city of Drow, because the Drow do not like the sunlight, and they do not. So in this, they get this radiance, but it is like twilight. It is like a twilight land. And in there you have this city of a dark elven city. So you have some of the great things of the elves twisted and changed. You know, demons walk the street of Ereli Sinlu. It is an evil city, and it is a spectacular sight. So that's one of the great wonders. But you know, in the early modules, the D modules, it really required you to be, even in first edition, like 11th or 12th level to reach the Vault of the Drow.
Vault of the Drow, once again, and this is not the pastel version. This is, you know, it's got a different color covering up, but I don't care. This is my Drow Bible. That's it.
Yeah.
It's got everything you need in it for the Drow for Greyhawk.
Everything you see was inspired by this and the other D modules. This is the origin of the Drow, not the Forgotten Realms, not some other setting. This is where it came from, and everything hints back to this basic idea. And it's really wonderful.
Gary, stop. Don't get me in trouble, Gary. So
and Gary, that's, I think, one of Gary Gygax's biggest addition to general fantasy is the Drow, because they kind of escaped Greyhawk and his stories and become part of the mainstay fantasy nowadays. So most of the other monsters and stuff were already in fantasy, but Drow he invented and kind of shaped them, and then they have been kind of honed in various different directions afterwards. But that's where it started. Yeah.
So we're going to go on that. We'll do one more round here, because I know then by the time we'll be at shout outs. So we're going to go to, let me close this out here. We're going to, we're going to go back on the main map. We're going to go to one of the areas of my campaign, which is it's really not placed, but it's here. Unless you placed this too, Anna, and like, oh, I placed it here. So, and that is, as we go to, we're going to go next. Whoops, I got to do this quickly so it doesn't click out like that. We're going to go to Greyhawk Adventures page 95. So boom, working near here. And that is, once again, this is right in the Pomarsh. And that is the Twisted Forest. A cool one. The Twisted Forest. The Draken's Grabs have always been a peculiar land, and anomaly among the more settled regions of the Flannis. But there's this land, the misnamed Twisted Forest. It's no forest at all, but rather a collection of stony pillars, pitted gray shapes, as much aspect of humanoid shapes as of trees. It sounds like an area where a whole bunch of stuff got turned to stone, right? That's what you don't know. A surprising number of bones and many weathered remains of weapons and equipment. So it says the pillars are largely remains of evil creatures. This is the notes for the Dungeon Master. So if you're in this area and you're evil, you can get turned to the stone for some reason. I mean, that's what it says in here. You just get turned. So it's a strange place. I wouldn't want to be, so it's you can make it however you want, but that's what this book says is Pomarsh are now well aware of the dangers of the Twisted Forest, so they avoid it. So it's an area where you can hole up if you're in, and it's really not placed specifically. Am I correct? I don't think you've ever placed it specifically on this map.
I think it's in there.
Is it?
So. Yeah,
I'm
I
looking.
think so.
Do we see Twisted Forest?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, here it is. Oh my God,
Yep.
there it's placed it again. So, and it's not too far from the Tower of the Heavens. There you go. So Twisted Forest is right here. It's out in the middle of nowhere on the map. It's not far. I mean, it's a couple days travel from Strankeep Castle, which I've just recently used, Jason, as you know, in my campaign.
Yeah,
So,
great game.
and there you go. And so it is on the map here by Anna. You could relocate it if you so chose. Look at this whole blank area out here in the Draken's Grabs that you could actually move it however you so choose. Hey, Rich, what's going on? So that would be my last one we'll discuss because it's in my campaign area. So the Twisted
Yeah,
Forest.
that's such a great area, the Pomarsh. I mean, that is
Yes.
just adventure central.
It is, and it's awesome, and it's fun. And there's always something to do, and there's always something, I hate to say, there's always something to kill. So always something to fight.
Good try.
Yep. All right, Mike.
So Von Molkio, who has been already talking about this character for the Grand Melee, he wanted to know something about a spaceship in the Barrier Peaks. Let me tell you about the spaceship in the Barrier Peaks. So if you go to the lowest level of the Greyhawk ruins, there's a teleportal which will teleport you to the Barrier Peaks. At the other end of this high mountaintop in the Barrier Peaks, you will see a ship in the shape of a wasp. And that wasp could take you to outer space.
Oh my God.
That's all in Greyhawk
Awesome.
ruins.
Yes.
So I hope that made you happy.
Gary, did that make you happy? Probably not.
Makes me happy.
No.
So yes, spaceship in the Barrier Peaks.
Yep.
Not only outer space, but the phlogiston.
So you have a lot of that. Greyhawk's filled with technology, but it's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
I mean, Merlin himself uses a gun from Boot Hill, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah, Merlin.
it's not a spelljammer. It's Gary takes that jab at Big Mac, pokes him with his pencil.
At least it's not a spelljammer. It is a spelljammer.
So you got some. Thanks, first. Hang out, and so I'm gonna link for all you new people tonight. We're gonna link some Discords here: Cannon Fire Discord and the Virtual GreyhawkCon Discord, and there's still plenty of seats. There's open for 21. I think RPGs are still seats open for next weekend's games. Mike, that's a fun one. That's a good one to really get Gary blood boiling.
Yeah.
So, Mike, did you ever run Barrier Peaks?
No.
Did you ever? Want to?
Interestingly enough, I have ran the more recent 5th edition sequel to that, which is the
Laboratory of Qualish.
Qualish, which I wouldn't really call it a sequel, but it visits another location in the crash site. So like the thing breaks up in a couple pieces. So this is another site in the Barrier Peaks, if that's not enough for Gary. So I ran that, but I have not ran the original Barrier Peaks.
I want to show
And-
something. We just had a question. Oh, these are covered. Shit. Let me show you. All right, I want to show you something real quick. A question on Ostrich. I'm curious in the community's opinion on Ostrich. Right? This is one of Carlos's modules, the one I wrote with him. What's it say in the upper right-hand corner? Compliant with Ostrich. So Carlos is going to write stuff not in AD&D because he doesn't want to get burned. But so it's going to be Ostrich compliant. The base one that Alan Groe's Black Blade Publishing puts the book out for now. So there you go. The answer is the community is great with Ostrich. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Easy to adapt.
Stripped down.
Ostrich is Ostrich's AD&D stripped down, and then you can build it back up with whatever you want on it. So that
Right.
hopefully that answers your question there. So, base
House
edition is
staff.
good. Yep. But none of the parties completed 2 BKs, 1 full retreat. Wow. So
I'd say you're lucky.
but come on, like there's some wonderful things that come out of Barrier Peaks. They're Vegapygmies, Frogamus. Come out.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, wolves in sheep's clothing all come out of that adventure.
The bullet.
Bullets in there too, yeah. I mean, that is so.
So here's an adventure path for you. Expedition of the Barrier Peaks,
Draw some mold, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doom Grinder, then City of the Gods, or a combination of
For ultimate torture. Wow. That would be a blast. So, I love Frogamus. Love him. So, good one. Good one. Good finish up there, Mike. Anna, what do you got?
Yeah, I want to bring forth some engineering for the last wonders, so to speak, that I think any character who wants to build their own keep should go and study, which I think might be the oldest, most extensive fortifications in the Flannies, and that is Iron Gate. And one of the reasons for saying the oldest is that it's kind of cool because it's in one of these locations that regardless of the climate, it could have been there forever, kind of survived an ice age and all sorts of stuff, so to speak. So it's one of these persistently good locations that it could have been around for millennia, for a really, really long time. And it's kind of a really cool defensive locations. And there's some illustrations and Maldin, Dennis Tetro did some awesome work on Iron Gate too. So I think it's kind of simply from a fantasy city design perspective is very, very interesting. It's a super cool location that way. Plus, it's supposed to have some connections to the deep underground, underdark as well. So it's kind of a multifaceted, interesting location.
And gates. There's gate portals, right?
Yep.
All over the place.
Yep.
I mean, Iron Gate is really deep, and probably only the surface has been scratched. Now, we did, and it's on YouTube, we did an entire Legends and Lore. It's got to be well over a year ago, at least, on Iron Gate.
Yeah.
It was
So I
early
just
on.
wanted to mention it from the engineering perspective that is interesting, simply as a wonder of probably defensive engineering.
Yeah, definitely a great one there. So,
dwarves.
This might be one of the few things I actually agree with Rich. Maybe not necessarily Sewell, but someone started to build it before that even the dwarfs got there, so to speak. So it's probably ancient. I want to have it as potentially very, very old.
Oh, shoot, Rich. The Flan could have built it before the Sewell man.
Yeah.
It's just in Alyssa's backyard.
yeah. Well, I mean, once again, the dwarves always been there. That's
yeah,
the thing.
them too.
Yeah.
They were busy eating dirt.
Number two, yeah, I would say, yeah.
Got to make them tunnels somehow.
Yep. Or maybe they were naturally made too. You never know. Or they're made by creatures. So, Jason, what do you got, man?
All right. Well, going off of Anna's, this isn't about engineering. This is about kind of a horrific site that is a kind of a shocking wonder of the earth is Spine Castle.
Oh,
all right. Spine Castle. I really got into Gary Holian's Dungeon 148 description of Spine Castle. Now, Spine Castle goes back decades, and the city itself was a bit of a wonder, mainly because of its central keep that rises out of the northern mountainous area, and then it leads as a passage going northly up to Radek. But okay, Spine Castle's in the northern Bone March, and it is surrounded by mountainous areas infested with monsters. With the humanoid monsters are all around the area. So it is a city that had to be prepared as a bulwark against them. Now, the original city is strong walls, a tower that is a stunning sight, seeing the castle of Spine Castle. These incredible gates to protect them from things coming from the north, coming down from Radek or down that passage. So years ago, it's conquered. The orcs come up through tunnels into the base of the castle itself. And on the outside, they're besieged by ogres and goblins and hobgoblins and massive numbers of gnolls. And the city is taken. And the people are if you were trapped in there during that siege, you cannot get out. And the gnolls are devouring people alive. And so are a lot of the other ones. And the city is taken. And not only is it pillaged, but they stay there. Decade after decade, they are living, and they have turned modern Spine Castle into a horrific, monstrous city. Now, not built by man, but within the walls, it is, all right, outside into the moat are thrown the dead bodies. So there are, that haven't been eaten, there are dead bodies, spirits, perfect sites for a necromancer to come and experiment. The hobgoblins, they've been driven out of the city, but they've taken up place in the old castles. Within the city, there is the old rich quarter that the orcs have taken over. And then in the east, there is a terrible temple to Ariethnol, and that somehow has converted the gnolls from Inogo. And they are horrifying because they demand, some of them have even turned cannibal because they're always hungry. There is a huge slave trade there. So evil merchants are bringing people there all the time. And the city is in this half-ruined state because they have dwarven slaves trying to rebuild, but their natural inclination is destroy. You have tribes of ogres overseeing these constructions. You have a giant gladiatorial pit where people are thrown into. You have evil merchants who've set up shop there to sell things to these monsters, and it is a living, horrendous place of monsters. And it visually is just, if you were up in the mountains, if you were up in the towers of the castle looking down, it's like looking at the rotting corpse of a city infested with these monsters, ruins, wrecked buildings, fires burning in them, continual the barking of the gnolls, the screams of the slaves. It is visually one of the most horrific places outside of Uz's domain that you're going to see on Earth, or maybe in the pits of the Horn Society. But it is just, and it should be, I think, one of the pillars, like the Pomage is a pillar of adventure in the campaign. Spine Castle is perfect for so many things, but visually, if we're talking about things that just affect you, seeing Spine Castle, it would have to be one of the most gut-wrenching, horrific sights that you're going to see on the face of the earth. So, I'm a big Spine Castle fan.
On a positive note there, Jason finishing it up. Woohoo! No, that's awesome. How dreadful it is, yeah. Oh
But that's
no.
perfect for adventure.
Oh my gosh. Rich is smoking something. Yeah, I see that. Very yes. So it is right for adventure an area, another area of where evil is taking hold and good it can really attempt to make a difference at it long term. Kind of like what I have in the Pomars too. There's always those places all throughout the Greyhawk, which makes it so cool. So look at that. We're almost at the 950 mark already, and with shout outs coming. So of course we only scratched the surface on this topic.
Yeah.
Like usual, a lot of them.
That's why we have to have a show next week again, so to speak.
Well, next week I'm trying to get less on for the flan discussion.
Yeah.
So. Oh my gosh! Do I use Arcana? Of course. Watch this. Ooh la 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 la. Oh, it's right here. Look at how close it was. Of course, I used the Arcana. Now, there's a lot of stuff in there that I don't agree with, but particularly the Cavalier. I use the Dragon 72 version, but yeah. So, you can interact with Death Knights and Spine Castle and Spine Keep as a major dungeon. Well, Gary did a lot of Spine Castle stuff, I believe, in one of the latest Earth Journals as well. So there's a lot of nice detail in there too. And maybe I'm time's blurring, and maybe it's been a year ago. I can't even, I'm losing track of time because it's just so much, so much that is, yeah, absolutely. So this is fun tonight. Hopefully, you got some obscure ones, some good ideas,
Seems different.
Definitely some ideas for adventures. As we are almost filled. There's going to be a show on Death Knights. We're going to have one down the road. I promise. Yep. Yeah, it's on. We're on Gary time.
Yeah, we kidnap Gary and keep him in the God trap for that show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are some issues. So, thanks, Biggie. Biggie Paul is in the Grand Melee too. He got the last sign up. So he got stuck with whoever no one wanted as far as characters. He got the Ket guy again. So there's Tim. So let's do some shout outs here, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what's good. Yeah, it's a good character. There's no bad characters in it, really. There's none. So Jason, what's going on, man?
All right. Well, I'm still, one of the main projects I'm doing is doing all the cities, towns, and village maps of the world that I've indexed, and I'm down to the D's, so it's going pretty well. These are from a computer generator site called Whataboo, and he lets you do one is a village generator in color, and the other is a kind of monochrome city generator. Now, this is stuff on par with a little better than Fate of Istis and the kind of, crude computer generated maps that you got out of some of the Sargent era stuff. It's not fantastic, but it's certainly much better than anything I could do on my own. It's quick, it's easy, and it'll give people some idea. It allows you to put rivers and coasts and all different kinds of things. So my big goal is just to have as many of these places done. So if you're a DM and you say, I have no idea what this looks like, you can jump on here. It's on the Cannon Fire website. You jump on there. Now, there is another project by Rich called the Cities of Greyhawk. It's a big square on the left-hand side. You click that and you get a map of the Earth, and that's not what I'm doing, but he has a number of the cities, a whole big number, where various maps of various skill levels are available, and some of them are absolutely beautiful. But the other stuff I'm doing is I really like the cities are fine, and I found a way to generate castle maps, very crude. But so on my next project's going to be to do the same thing and take the named castles and come out with crude maps for them to give you a general idea. Now, I believe there's like 300 mentions of castles and a lot of mentions of cities, hundreds. So, and with towns and such, it might be as much as like 700 or 800. So these are going to be very lengthy, amounts of maps that you can look
It's a
at.
lot.
Yeah, it's been a big project, but it's been going real well. It's quick and
Cool.
easy to do.
That is very, very cool.
Mhm.
Appreciate that, Jason, what you're doing. And yeah, they will be there for everyone. That's everything is everything's getting added to the Campfire site, which is cool. So
I'm an open source guy. If you see something, the best thing you can do, if you see something I create, you use it. That's my coin. That's what I appreciate most. I like commentary. I like people using stuff. But honestly, that's the greatest reward that you can get. And so you see it, feel free, use it. I encourage you. I want you to.
That's wonderful, Jason. I agree. Yep.
excellent. Mike, what's going on, man?
Well, no projects, but I have been gaming a lot. I'm running Steading of the Hill Giant Chief in 5th edition.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, the group that I have possesses 3 of the 4 weapons from White Blue Mountain.
Wave Realm and Black Razor?
Oh,
Frost Razor.
Oh, Frost Razor. Okay.
They destroyed Black Razor.
Okay.
So they got Frost Razor, which is from Return to White Blue Mountain. But at any rate, with 3 artifact level weapons going through the steading, it's been quite easy so far. No surprise. 5E's like that. But it's enjoyable. And then meanwhile, that's me as a DM. And then as a player, I've been getting my britches burnt in one of Carlos's adventures ran by Rich.
Oh, yeah.
oh.
We'll not go into much more detail on that. Please.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of gaming and
That's awesome.
watching your games.
Thank you.
Sweet. Living the life.
Living a life.
Yeah.
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 So things are definitely going. Things are fun. So Anna, what's up?
Okay. Yeah. Right now it's prepping for my seminar for Virtual Garricon. That's the
Greyhawk
big
Con.
thingy. And oh, sorry. Yeah. Greyhawk Con. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yep. So yeah. So the some of the main topics will be present. Since I worked on a planetary model, now comes the analyze phase of the so kind of analyze my what I'll come up with, so to speak. And there's some interesting stuff. So that will be one big part of the seminar will be go over the planetary model and what kind of implications and what kind of how you can implement it and variations and stuff to add to ancient history or to add to the future of the setting, whichever you want, or both, depending on how you want to implement it, so to speak. That's one of them. Another one will be to talk about my own campaign and present some of the maps and not only the big overland maps, but some of the dungeon maps and the maps that are locations, and talk a little bit about how to develop kind of locations in an area that is effectively an empty green hex in our Darlene map. That's basically what I've done now, trying to make an empty hex come to life, so to speak, and tell something about that area's history, and then how I implemented the history and how I added to it as an example of how to do. And all of that material that I'm going to present will be available fairly soon too. There's some of it that will be only for my patrons to begin with, but they will come in a month or two. Well, all of it will be available, and there will be more developing in that area, because that area will also be the target for my, or the home turf, so to speak, the sandbox for my D&D in a castle next year. So I hope to have some big prints done and stuff like that of that area to use. So it's more coming. So with Noble dwarf that I can get him to print some of the big ones. So that might be a cool thing that he can offer them as prints down the line too. So anyone can have them as huge prints if you want. And so that is the gist of the topics for so it's a sneak peek into it. There will probably be a few other ideas, and I will talk a little bit about ideas and stuff that I have for future projects that I want to dig into, and a little bit, so it will not be that technical. The last seminar I had was very map technical. This will not be map technical. This will not be talk about software and masks and weird things like that. So this will be way more on the maps and the result and the campaign and ideas and stuff like that, how you can implement it. And then on Friday, I will have another map live stream that I will work on the upcoming edition and revision of the terrain for the 2021 version of the map and the atlas. And I think this time it will be to revise and add rivers and look over the drainage as part of the, now when I've done more of a planetary model, I've realized there's some areas, especially in the Baclunish West, that needs to have rivers. Those rivers are only seasonal, so they will not be big blue blobs but they will be kind of more imprints in the landscape. So we'll see what we can do with that. And if there is more time, there will always be more islands and stuff to work on. But I thought we needed to have a bit of a variation. Worked on islands 2 weeks in a row, so we need to do something different. So those are the main things. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Anna's seminar stream is next Friday, October 1st, 6 p.m. EDT. Let me put this out there. Tabletop events got switched in the system to now we can put it in as a virtual event. The times that are going to show up now when you have logged in are your own base time zones.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
So now it's set that way. So when you see the times, note it's in your own time zone. But what I'm going to show you shortly is Eastern. Okay. Let me flip the screen here and let's go over what's going on. Boom. Whoops. That was a mongrel. Oh my gosh! I did it again. I got both of Tim's stuff.
You get the whole.
All right. So here we go.
There, so, yeah.
Tomorrow night, it's a one-shot because next Thursday, after tomorrow night's, I got to get the Altamir, Free City of Altamir up and stuff I'm going to show you. And then next Thursday night, we will not have a stream game because I have my son's back to school night. So I have to go to that. I don't want to get divorced. So tomorrow night, Narwhal Hunters reclaim Rocky Top. A lot of so Enoch, you're going to see Lindara, all those characters from that group. They're 3rd, 4th level. It's a one-shotter. So you remember, it's been almost a year since you guys played those characters in Virtual GrowCon 1. So they're only 3rd and 4th level. See, that's because we bounce around so much. So that's tomorrow night. You'll see that. Sunday, I only got 3 streams this week. Whew. Sunday night's cabin. It's going to be awesome. It's the Virtual Greyhawk Con 2 Prelude. Now, there's more guests in this. Are you ready? Anna, the ever mysterious Tim. If I miss someone, I apologize. People are going to be filtering in and out all night. We're going to have DMs from the highlight streams and some doing games, promoting. So here we go. Casey Brown will be on. John Birchfield will be on from Blue Box. Armin will be on because he's running some late night games from New Zealand. DM Andy will be on. Time Lord's wife will be on. Stella Luna will be on. Wiley Hobbit will be on. I'm probably missing something. DM Dave from Guild Superior will be on. There's going to be a lot of people that will be on talking about what they're going to be doing. There may be some even more than what I've said, and they'll be filtering in and out. But myself and Anna will be on most of the time. Tim will probably be on for a fair amount of it as well, and we'll have fun just talking about what's going to be going on for GreyhawkCon. So I'm not going to go over too much. Just note the following. Here's the schedule for Friday night on highlighted streams, and you can see Anna's show is at 6 p.m. This is all Eastern time. The main event, Greyhawk Session 1, that's going to have the Overgorge story in it. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Blue Box, and you can see Steven Chenault's DMing that day. We got a lot going on day 1. Day 2 is packed. there's still openings for our men's games for Zavad, which is Carlos Lysings, and the Elmshire Murder is Grey Leg Oranier. You all know Tom Van de Veen. It's 4 a.m. Eastern. He's in Belgium, so it's like 10 a.m. his time, and he's only got like one sign up, so we got to get some more sign-ups for the Elmshire Murder. All right. The Ever Mysterious Tim's playing early in the morning, and I'm producing that. And then the Grand Melee competition is 6 p.m. I'll talk about that in a second. Sunday night. Here's our schedule. And we got some ending up with the Ask the Experts and all the big giveaways that we're going to have for that night at the end. So we have a full packed 3 days of content. Saturday nights, Grand Melee of Altamira. I have 20 sheets right here. You will see the return of the Black Knight, right? Gary's character. You will see, from the joust. You will see the return of Zarvargrin, the Unmerciful, right? The one that Mike Disney played. You will see from Blue Box's stream. You will see the half ogre Brim in the fight. So we're going to see some really cool characters. You're going to see a lot of characters, some new characters and some old characters that showed up from the last event. 20 characters in this. And yes, you're slumming it in Altamira. You're absolutely Black Knight. You are a fan favorite for that. So that'll be a blast. I don't know. We're going to try and get a flan show for next week's Legends and Lore. So we're working on that, but we got a lot of stuff going on. We'll talk about a lot more of this during Gavin on Sunday night, the Virtual GragCon preview, and we'll have a lot of really cool discussion on it. And so we'll save it till that point, till Sunday. So let's do the giveaways. Giveaway. We're gonna do the one CSL Entertainment $25 gift certificate. Let me get this ready to go. The last call for signups. 10 seconds. I will send this to you tonight. So, well, remember the Duncan Joustley's doing all the ads again. So all those ads are out there, and hey, in the course of roleplay, you guys want to do some bets and want to do some side things. Whoops, I just closed out everything accidentally. Yay! Give me a sec here. Boom. See, this is what happens when you mess around too much. There we go.
Yeah.
Is everyone there? Jason blacked out. I blacked him out there.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
It might come back.
All right,
Yep.
Closing out the entries. Winner is. Wow, that's a new name. Is he or she on? Blink Dog Swarm.
Blink Dog Swarm, great.
Blink
name.
Dog Swarm is
Yeah.
on. All you need to do is say, "I'm here," and it is yours, and I will send it to you. Yep. Blink Dog Swarm could be lurking
That's
away.
an awesome nick.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. So, if I do not get in touch with Blink Dog Swarm, I will re-give away an extra one of these on the Sunday night show. So there you go. But Blink Dog Swarm is in chat. I'm showing that person is active. Yes. And they're new, so there you go. Maybe they're shy.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thanks for another great show, everyone. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Jason, for hopping on last second. Hey, Hager. Good to see you. And thank you, Anna. We're going to raid into someone that Anna has a relationship with, and we need to talk to this person, and that's Cave Geek Art, Anna.
Yes. Okay.
We need to talk
awesome.
to him
Yep.
at some point.
Yep. We need to have him on the fantasy mapping show, if nothing else.
Right, exactly. So I'm
Yep.
gonna, because he reached back out to me, and I haven't talked to him. I've been so busy, so maybe this will be a little, what do you call it, fig leaf or whatever.
Fig leaf.
Whatever. What do you call it? A little, whatever.
Whatever.
My brain is so far off right
That's
now.
awesome. Yep.
Yes. All right. So
Olive branch.
Thank
that's
you,
it.
Earth Scribe.
An olive
Yep.
branch.
Olive branch. Yep.
Yes.
There we go. Fig
Mhm.
leaves and olive branches.
An olive
Yes.
branch. Oh
Sounds
my
more
God, fig
exciting.
leaf. I'm so dumb
Fig leaves
tonight.
and olive branches. That's super cool.
Your IQ
Yep.
goes down as you get older, so yes, mine
Yep.
probably
Mhm.
dropped 100 points.
Yep.
Thank you. So here we go. We're going to set this raid up. We're going to go into Cave Geek Art. He's doing something really cool. So say hello, follow him,
Awesome.
please.
Yep.
Check him out. All right. We'll see you all tomorrow night for it's Gamescape 3D. I'm giving away the Jousting Tilt Field. Okay, in STL.
Ooh.
The the mill we have up, and also the ferry. Oh, and here, it's coming. As you can see, I'm going to cover your faces. It is coming. Yes, there it is.
Awesome.
It is coming very soon. It'll be on the Altamira map. Be on my table. The
That's
arena,
amazing.
isn't it? The arena is coming. Yes, it is going to be awesome. I should see it probably as early as tomorrow night. So thank you. All right, let's set the rate up. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night. All right, rating into Cave Geek Art. Voila. Let's see if we can get up to 70. That would be awesome for him. Yes, we're close. Oh, close. 68. That's good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night.
Yeah, you popped over.
Just make sure I got sound up here. Alright, let me finish this up here. Oh, now, where do my,